Good morning. I want to start off with a funny story. This week, my grandson asked me a question. I just had come home and he was out in the yard kicking the soccer ball around, and he said, let's play soccer, Papa. And so I got out there with my hands in my pockets. I'm moving around. He's running wide open. I'm just taking big steps to keep up with him. And he stops, picks the ball up, looks at me right in my face, as serious as he can be, and he asks, Papa, have you learned how to run yet? Now, he's 4 years old. That was not sarcasm. He was probably thinking, boy, I've learned how to run now. I guess that is a basic skill set that my grandfather has not yet acquired. How wonderful it is to be a child, to think on those lines. Now, I couldn't explain to him, it would not have done any good for me to explain to him that, grandson, I used to run on a track team, and I ran up and down the Colorado Rocky Mountains, and when I was 14 years old, we used to throw plums at police cars in Albany, Georgia, and run from the cops. That was our Friday night fun. Of course, I would never tell him that, but it would have done no good to say that to him because, first of all, he doesn't know what his track team is, and secondly, he's never seen the Rockies, and thirdly, well, let's just forget about the third part. That is exactly how we are as children of God. We think the same way. We ask God, are you keeping up with me? Are you keeping up with what's going on in my life? Because it appears that you're having some issues keeping up and moving. We have all thought that. We have all thought that in the middle of our whatever it is that we're going through, that God's not keeping up, that he doesn't see us, that just like Nash, we want to ask him, have you learned how to run yet? But in all honesty, you have to know that God hears that, and he must smile, and he must look at us the same way I looked at my grandson. And that is, if I explained this to you, you would not get it. If I tried to tell you just how great I am, you would not fully understand it. He did, though, however, one time to Job, say this to him. He said to Job, when Job was complaining about the things that he was going through and how God was silent, God said to Job, were you around when I created the universe? Were you there when I divided the earth from the sea? Were you there in the beginning? And what God is basically saying is that his knowledge, his wisdom is far above ours. And that in the mind of a child is hard to understand because what we see is the here and now. We see this moment. And we wonder why God isn't keeping up. Why he seems to be occupied or preoccupied with something else. Let me tell you what Jude says. I'm going to read this to you. Praise be unto him who is able to keep you from falling. Praise be unto him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. Trust me when I tell you, he can keep up and God is moving. Have a blessed Sunday. I'll see you next week.